Yo, what's up? Your boy Sully the Great One back at it again, this time with my top 5 drops in Call of Duty Blackout. Now, I'm going to walk you through the steps of why I believe these are the top 5 drops you should be able to do in duos and solos. Maybe not so much the actual quads, but sometimes it actually works in your advantage and favor. So let's get into it. The first one I'm going to call Good Neighbors. Good Neighbors is just located in the C2 block, D2 blockish, over there by Estates. So if you're looking at the map, it's going to be on the left-hand side of Estates, up in that area. When you drop in there, they're going to be two-story houses, and then right down below is going to be a gas station. Now, this area is known to spawn multiple crates. I've seen him, a handful of times there myself. That's why I love dropping there. You also have the two little back buildings that I'll show here that have, sometimes trauma kits and crates in them as well. I know it's randomized loot, but for some reason I continue to get lucky. So that's why I enjoy those particular drops myself. Another reason why I love this drop is if the circle does so happen to fall over by construction or at stateside, you automatically get that back ridge, which is fantastic. That's where I've gotten plenty of the kills. I've won plenty of matches just controlling that ridge. The next spot is going to be all the way down by factory. This is going to be located in E7, roughly on the very edge of factory. There's going to be two bigger buildings that are 2 stories that have 3 levels in it, that have multiple loot in them. This is a drop where you could drop with quads, duos, and solos and find fantastic loot. Right behind factory and these 2 buildings are also going to be these 2 little white like trailers, and then you have the little orange building compound, and then you have the little buildings along that road to factory that you'll be able to hit. It's open enough so if you could see the enemy coming, you have the ability to get some clean firefights in at the beginning of the game. And most of the time, this is where a lot of the action takes place. And if you just get so lucky to, be in the circle, you can also raid factory as well. I try to personally stay away from factory unless the circle's ending there, because I like getting everybody, that's coming along there. Factory, you get so many campers, and I'm not down with dying to lucky people just hiding in a corner. So yeah, be cautious of that. The next drop is going to be Good Neighbors 2. Good Neighbors 2 is identical buildings that are outside of states, but instead of outside of states, they're going to be outside of array. They're set up the same exact way, same benefits as the buildings outside of the states, because you get to control the ridge along the mountainside there, because there's also a huge drop to the road below. There's plenty of loot. There are 3 little houses that sometimes spawn crates. This area is known to spawn a crate or 2. Every time I've landed there, I've found fantastic loot, especially in a duo standpoint. I think all these maps and all these drops are perfect for duos. I think a lot of times you play quads. Quads are a little bit too easy, because if you get a nice, 3 or 4 people on a team that know what they're doing, it's more you're going against other people that are just playing with their friends. It's relatively easy to get dubs there. Solos, you really drop anywhere. Solos are interesting. There's definitely a difficulty factor there. I think duos is what most of the pros play, where you see the Doctor's Disrespects of the world, the Visions of the world, the 7-1G. They're all playing duos. So Good Neighbors 2, right outside array on C4. That's one of the best drops. And 90% of the time, you're so close to the circle or within the circle. I highly recommend this drop here. You're always so close. This is probably closer to the top of the list, but again, these are in no order. These are just my 5 drops. All right, so the next piece, we really don't have a title for this one yet. We're working on it. But this little place on the map, E5 is going to be to the right of Fracking Tower. It's actually pretty legit, especially if you are in a quad or duo standpoint. There's plenty of buildings to be looted. There are two buildings, two-story buildings with holes in the roof where we like to drop in. Especially if we're playing duos, one person takes one, the other person takes the other. They're right next to each other. You drop in the roof, work your way all the way down. We found sniper rifles. We found level 2 vests. We found good ARs right off the bat. And then there's also 2 garages. Those garages sometimes spawn crates, which have been hugely beneficial for us. And then I do believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 houses with 2 garages and a couple outbuildings there. Yeah, pretty good drop, pretty aggressive drop. Definitely highly recommend going there. Last but not least is going to be the 2 factories right outside Hydro Dam, which are G2. Those 2 factories right there create all sorts of havoc right off the bat if there's multiple teams that go there. Just because it is becoming a little bit more popular, but it's still fantastic. It's going to be far away from those hot drops like a firing range and train station. However, most of the time you have direct path to those 2 areas. So for instance, if you drop at these 2 factories, you can loot them, especially in duos. If someone drops with you, you can easily wipe them out if you get the gun first. Obviously, then you go down and there's going to be these 3 little trailers that are sometimes filled to the gill with loot. You have a huge mountain here to watch, and then you have a very popular red building that's a 3-story building right before the bridge, where you can then decide, okay, is the circle's going over by turbine, we'll cross the bridge here, or if the circle's going over by firing range, we'll go through train station and clean up the mess there. So a lot of times we've had fantastic luck there. All 5 of these drops are where I like to land. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't tried them yet, to try them out. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. These are my top 5 drops that, again, I like to land. Do me a huge favor. If I missed any of the drops, or if you have a unique spot that's always been lucky for you, leave them in the comments below and let me know where that location is. And I would be more than happy to try it out, especially during one of my live streams. Do me a favor, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down and let me know why. And as always, click that subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications, and I'll see you around. Deuces.